Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, you guys. This comes from Twin Cities Pioneer Press, and in my opinion, it stinks to high heaven. Man who police say tried to rob Church of Scientology worker. So they never can decide what they are, right? One day you're a parishioner, another day you're a volunteer, another day you are a staff member. What is it? Tried to rob Church of Scientology worker. Listen to this, you guys. And died after struggle. Like maybe getting the shit kicked out of you by Scientologists? Could that be it? Could it be that the Scientologists beat him to death? I'm not saying it's okay to rob people. It's not. If that's really what happened. I'm just saying. Died after struggle in St. Paul. And this is not a leading article, is it? Had lengthy robbery history. Gotta admit, though, when the Scientology or Scientologists pay off police, they must be getting some really good payments. Let's just keep it real. And we know we could trust this. Police are investigating. I wonder if they investigate like they do in LAPD. Or wait, no, in LAPD they just shoot people for nothing. My opinion. After a man was found unconscious. Wouldn't we need proof that she was robbed? I'm just saying, you guys. I could be walking down the street, somebody tries to talk to me, and maybe I lie on him and say, he tried to rob me. Was he a black guy? Because, in a lot of places, you're not allowed to be a black person, especially a black man. He was found unconscious. Or was he found dead? How'd he get unconscious? My guess is that the Scientologists beat him to death. Facts. In a parking garage. And died on Monday, January 20th, 2020. Lots of 20s in there. By Mara H. Gottfried. Question is this a real person? Or is it AI? A man who died after a struggle. You mean like somebody beating you to death? Is that what the struggle means? Getting beaten to death by some Scientologists? It's kind of what it sounds like. As police, of course they don't name the police officers, do they? Say, and we could trust what police say, right? He was trying to rob a worker. Wait a minute, you guys. Aren't they church members? Aren't they parishioners? I'm confused. In downtown St. Paul, was identified as a 52-year-old. Really, that's all? Was he a black man? Was he a homeless guy? What's the story? This reeks cover-up. And now a guy's dead. Well, that was in 2020. According to information released by police Wednesday. Do you guys release information in Minneapolis the way they do in LAPD? Because we know those are all cleansed. Oh, wow. I must be psychic. He was a black man. The cause of death for Andre Lamont Peterson of St. Paul has not been determined. Huh. Kind of like Lisa McPherson's death was never truly determined. Has not been determined by the Ramsey County Medical Examiner's Office. Ramsey, that's a good old Egyptian name, isn't it? Reminds me of Freemasonry, but what do I know? Which is awaiting toxicology results, according to police. Oh, do they actually really do that, you guys? I'm just saying, you guys, what does toxicology have to do with anything? Was the Scientologist all freaked out and they thought he was on drugs or something? I'm really analyzing the crap out of this one. I'm sorry, you guys. Police said Peterson intimated. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Intimated. Oh, wow, where have we heard this before from Scientology? Peterson intimated he had a gun. So the guy's dead. He has no way to prove what was said, what was done. Maybe he was just asking her for, which he shouldn't. I'm just guessing. Maybe he was asking her for money or something. Well, but he's dead, so we'll never know what he really said, right? Because he can't defend himself. And we know Scientology's always telling the truth, right? He attempted to rob a Church of Scientology employee. So now they're employees, you guys. So if they're employees, why aren't they paying taxes? Inquiring MF Minds want to know, if they're employees, was it a 15-year-old? Was it a 15-year-old employee? The one that has no name? Was it a little girl? Who was arriving for work? You know, because she works, but she doesn't pay taxes. Maybe he was just walking while black. Because you know, in some places that's not allowed, right? Oh boy. These ads are just too much. We all know now that the police can just write whatever they want and they're never held accountable. The 49-year-old worker, you know, the one at the church, fought back for about 5 minutes. You guys, you know this is a made-up story. It just reeks. So let me guess, this 49-year-old woman was fighting a 52-year-old black man because he had to be a black man, right? I'm just saying, you guys. She fought him for 5 minutes. Come on now. What is she like? Is she a taekwondo or something? Come on. As he called out for, or that made no sense. So wait a minute, now the worker's a man? They can't even check stuff anymore. As he called out for help. So now it's a man. How much you guys bet Scientologist wrote this? How much you bet? I'm so sick of this. So now it's a man calling out for help. I gotta go back. Hold on. Okay, my mistake, you guys. I thought that the worker was a woman. Well, I would imagine if two men are struggling, there's going to be a lot of blood, right? Just, okay, if this man, in fact, really was robbing him, that just shows you how dumb some of these Scientologists are. I'm just saying, you guys. Everybody knows if somebody's going to rob you, just give the frickin' wallet away. It's stupid. As he called out for help before his co-workers, the ones that don't pay taxes, heard and came to assist him. The ones with no names. Cops are not named. The Scientologist that beat someone to death are not named. It happened in a parking garage. Well, there must be a lot of cameras. Must be a lot of cameras, right? They probably got it on film. Recorded. On Exchange Street, near Wabasha Street, and the church. The one that doesn't pay taxes. The workers held down Peterson and called police. Well, what was it? Were they fighting? This does not sound right at all. Officers, listen to this, you guys. Isn't this convenient, you guys? Officers found him unconscious and not breathing. Well, would it be easy to go check the camera footage for the real story? And began chest compressions. So do you just automatically do chest compressions for someone who's unconscious? I don't think so. I'm not a medical expert. It doesn't sound right. You would do chest compressions for someone whose heart has stopped or they stopped breathing. Boy, the lies. But don't worry, you guys, in Australia, the Prime Minister of Australia back in, 2011, said that Senator Xenophon, who was inquiring into the criminal activity, that he was overstepping his senatorial duties. Moloch much? Remember, all the paranoid people the last 30 years have been right about everything. Peterson was pronounced dead at Regions Hospital. No gun was found. I'd like to know what was on this guy's belongings. Because as police officers, that's part of their duties, is to take, he died at the hospital, but the police should have picked up all of his belongings. What did Peterson have on him when he was dead? That would tell us a lot. I can't believe they're forcing this ad. Jeez. Police said they interviewed the people who were present and made no arrests. No problem. You killed this guy. No big deal. We'll just take him to the hospital where he's going to be pronounced dead. Not that he was dead when the police got there, right? That's what I think happened. Come on. And it's on video. It's unbelievable. Just the more you find out. There are investigations, we can trust that. He's ongoing, like the ones they do at LAPD that never get solved. Rest in peace to Officer Tipping. And police plan to present the case to the Ramsey County Attorney's Office for charging consideration. I'm not really sure exactly what that means. Charging the Scientologist of murder, maybe? Hey, look, you guys, I don't believe in robbing people, but this guy's dead, and we have no way to corroborate what really happened, because he's dead. And he's a black man at that. Minnesota court records show Peterson had a lengthy criminal history dating to 1987. Well, show us. We want to see it. So if you have a criminal history, do you automatically if you get murdered, that's not a problem? We don't know that this is what happened. I'm just saying I don't trust anything anymore. He was charged with robbery or attempted robbery in 11 cases. He was convicted in 9 of those cases. Peterson last got out of prison in November on supervised release, which ended on December 27th, according to Corrections Department spokeswoman. I was just wondering about drugs, because that's why usually people do those robberies and that. His most recent court case was from 2018, when he pleaded guilty to drug possession after he was holding a small bag of crack cocaine in Minneapolis. Unless it was planted. Let's just keep it real, you guys. Peterson was sentenced to more than a year in prison. This just shows you guilt to me. The fact that they're going so deep into this guy's alleged criminal history, he could have been a robber? But he's dead now. I don't think this guy was killing people. The last robbery he was convicted of occurred in 2016 in Minneapolis. Police responded to an assault and found Peterson standing over a man who was on the ground. You know, the one with no name. According to a criminal complaint. You guys see how they can set people up, too. The man told police that Peterson said, "Give me your money or I'll kill you," according to the complaint. Peterson, the fact that they're over-explaining shows guilt to me. Not guilt of this guy, guilt of the police and the Scientologists. In my opinion, free to have an opinion. I want to know how big this Peterson guy was, because they're making it sound like he was just this super strong guy. You know, they were tussling, the one guy, the so-called victim, was tussling with him for so-called 5 minutes. So he allegedly was some big, huge guy, right? According to the complaint, Peterson pushed him to the ground and punched and kicked him numerous times in the head and body. Emergency medical personnel informed officers they believe the man's back may have been fractured. I don't know. Maybe there's, you know what I mean? I don't like when everything's so generic. You know, medical personnel with no name. The man's back may have been fractured. Was it fractured or not? It's easy. Just go get an x-ray, right? I don't like all these generalized statements at all. Peterson pleaded guilty to first-degree attempted aggravated robbery and was sentenced to about 3 years in prison. Well, was it 3 or was it not? You guys see what I mean? In the case on Monday night, police said Peterson apparently, listen to this, it's all conjecture. All conjecture. In the case on Monday night, police said Peterson apparently, what do you mean apparently? Pretended he had a gun by hiding his hand in his jacket. Show us a video of that. Show us a video. I need to see proof. I'm so sick of hearing these kinds of stories. A court record from 2013 shows Peterson implied he had a gun under his shirt when he robbed a Walgreens drugstore in Minneapolis. So you see how they're over-explaining? What's the point of this over-explaining? So that would mean the police could create a story from the last 2013 robbery. You see what I mean? Because why are they over-explaining all this stuff? So anyways, it's very suspect to me. It's free to ask questions and have opinions. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.